Today, West Patrol Operations Division is doing a targeted enforcement on the west side of Dayton. We're looking for specific individuals in target areas. As part of that enforcement today, marked units observed a blue Buick LeSabre that was acting suspiciously in one of our target areas. At 3rd and Gettysburg, they attempted a traffic stop on that vehicle. That vehicle then fled at a high rate of speed. As part of this enforcement, we had an Ohio State Highway Patrol aviation unit that then tracked the vehicle. The Dayton police crews then stopped the pursuit of the vehicle and we let the aviation unit track it. During that tracking, Dayton crews tried to stay in the general area. They were able to deploy stop sticks on a couple of occasions. I'm not sure if they were successful in actually having the vehicle go over those stop sticks. Over on DeWeese Parkway near Ridge, the vehicle struck one of our marked Dayton police cruisers. And then the vehicle then came over here on Siebenthaler Riverside where it struck a innocent civilian's vehicle that was traveling northbound. The suspect was actually traveling the wrong way on Riverside Drive when it struck the other vehicle. There were 3 other accidents that I'm aware of related to this vehicle. However, from the time the aviation unit picked it up until our vehicle was struck on Ridge at DeWeese Parkway, we were not in pursuit. However, the suspect vehicle did not slow down. He was still driving recklessly, left to center, running red lights as if he was being pursued. My understanding is the individuals in the vehicle that was struck here have minor injuries, and all the accidents have minor injuries. The suspect and the passenger in the suspect vehicle have more serious injuries and have been transported to the hospital at this time.
Do you know how many people were in the other vehicle, the innocent vehicle?
There was a female and a young child in that vehicle.
But everybody was transported from all the vehicles, correct?
Yeah, all 4 individuals were transported from this accident to area hospitals.
What kind of charges is the suspect looking at?
Felony flee and elude to start off with, numerous traffic violations, and the detectives are going to investigate on why this suspect was fleeing for what was just a minor traffic violation on the initial traffic stop. So that'll take a couple days for them to get that information.
Were there weapons in the car or drugs? Do we know?
The vehicle has not been searched yet. We're waiting for evidence crews to come out to properly search the vehicle. So they'll probably find out later this evening once they search it.
I may have missed this. Did you say that they hit a marked car or an unmarked car?
They hit a marked unit over at Ridge and DeWeese Parkway.
Thank you. And
in that area.
All your officers were okay?
Yeah, the officers are fine. It just did minor damage to our vehicle, but it was, from what the officers are saying, he intentionally struck the vehicle. It wasn't an accidental strike.
No injuries on there for them?
For the officers, no. The officers are fine.
Do you have a suspect name?
I do not at this time. By the time I got on scene, he was already removed to the hospital, so we'll have crews going there now to get his information. We'll have it shortly. I just don't have it at the moment.
A little word to the wise. I mean, this has happened. We've had people running and hit cruisers. I think it happened in another area of Dayton. They're not getting anything out of this, are they? I mean, basically, you can't elude the police.
Right. You're not going to get away. We're eventually going to find you. The thing is,
like that guy?
His exhaust is louder than most. You're not going to get away. We're eventually going to find you. The amount of lives that they're putting at risk for what is basically minor, as far as I know now, is a minor traffic violation. It's just not worth it. My advice to the citizens out there driving in the city of Dayton and throughout the region is just pay attention to what's going on around you. You come up to a traffic light or something, pay attention to what's going on around you, because these individuals really have no regard for the people around them when they're fleeing the police like this.
An estimated time and how long you guys might have this section of the road closed? I know it's tough to do that sometimes.
Hopefully within a half hour, 45 minutes, we can have it back open. Our traffic crash reconstruction unit is here. They're going to do their job to document the accident, and then we'll get it cleaned up. So hopefully not too long. I'm hoping before rush hour.
Do you know how long the pursuit lasted?
I don't have an exact time, but it was approximately 10 to 15 minutes that the aviation unit was following it. The actual pursuit with Dayton marked units was less than a minute on the initial, and then however long it took to get from Ridge and DeWeese Parkway around the corner to here. So I would say marked units less than 2 or 3 minutes total, but the aviation unit followed it for a long amount of time.
So they didn't put up any kind of struggle. The accident pretty much took care of them. They didn't try and struggle with your officers?
From their injuries they had at the accident, they didn't resist any arrest here once they were taken into custody due to the accident.
Okay.
No.
And So kind of the first thing you mentioned was while y'all are kind of on the west side of Dayton. Do you mind touching on that one more time?
The targeted enforcement. We try to do these at random times throughout the month where we have certain individuals in certain communities that are high drug or crime areas that we're targeting. And we will bring in marked units, unmarked units, and we will really focus on those areas to try to catch the criminals that are causing the problems in that neighborhood and also to drive down crime in those areas. And today was one of those days that we were doing one of those enforcements. The areas are selected. They're not made public ahead of time for obvious reasons. And the officers were out there just doing their job. Suspicious vehicle. Like I said initially, they were just going to stop it just to see why they were in the general area. And unfortunately, it turned into a pursuit with injuries at the end of it. So.
Because initially, these weren't even the guys they weren't really looking for these guys, right? It's just they just left.
No, we did not know who was in this vehicle until after they were apprehended. So they weren't targeted individuals we were looking for. It's just they were suspicious in the area they were in, and our officers observed that, noticed some traffic violations, and we're going to stop and talk to them about that, at which time they fled.
There had been a question, I don't know, you may have already talked about this, not connected to some like gunshots at a grocery store?
Correct. This is not related. As far as we know at this time, this is not related. This was an independent traffic stop that's not related to that incident.
Thank you, sir.
All right.